Go get out the window, will you? I want to talk to someone. Hey! What's your name? Got any snout, have you? Got any snout, have you? Oh, sod you then. You wait till I find out who you are. You're a right nasty person. Four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
She's persistently disobedient.
3, 4.
Half my officers are frightened to go near her.
4,
You just don't know what's going on in her mind. She's dangerous.
I wonder what does go on in her mind.
She should be brought up before the Board of Visitors. They can give her much harder punishments.
Punishment doesn't seem to be having much effect.
It's attention-seeking, that's all.
Very successful so far.
Well, I think the deputy's right. She's got your attention. That's what she wants.
Well, she's got all our attention, hasn't she? We've been talking about her for the last 20 minutes. You think she was the only person in the prison?
Yes, perhaps we'd better come to a decision. Now, I'd like to try and have one final word with her. What do the rest of you feel?
I think you definitely shouldn't, madam.
On balance, no.
Miss Clark? I tend to agree. I think it's pointless.
It's more than pointless. It's downright
I'm just
harmful,
asking
letting
for
her think.
summings up, Mrs. Armitage. Charles?
I go along with the rest. You've done all you can. You should bring her up in front of the Board of Visitors now.
You've been very quiet, Miss Parrish. May we hear what you think? After all, she is on your wing.
When she's not down there on punishments, yes. I'm not frightened of her. She's not a problem to me.
Do you know what she said to
Please,
Officer
Mrs.
Hartley?
Armitage, I don't want to continue the discussion. Now, do I go down and have one more word with her or not?
No, I think there's no need.
Very well. I'll bear in mind what you've all said.
Here you are then, dear. Here's your tea. Oh, yes. And what's all this then? Right. Clear it up. Now. Oh, come on. You don't get your tea until you do. Good, that's better. Oh, leave those few. Come and have your tea now. Clear them up later. I can see you and I are going to get on all right, aren't we? What's your name, then? Angela. Yes, well, you're a good girl, Angela. You stay like that and we'll have no more trouble, shall we? Here you are, Joanna. Here's your tea.
Tart. All right. Fetch the governor, will you?
What's wrong? Oh, what's the matter with it?
There's no GP again, is there?
What?
That's not your fault. You let the governor see it so you don't get the blame, right?
What you talking about?
It says on my card out there, GP. Governor's privilege, doesn't it? And this is the third time this week. It's that Officer Hartley. She's the one trying to get you in it. Don't you worry me. You fetch the governor.
Sorry, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Prison Rule 50. Cellular confinement, subsection E, part 2. Any prisoner awarded governor's privilege shall be delivered 2 cigarettes to be given by the officer responsible at the time as and when the meal aforesaid shall be partaken of. That's all right, mate. It's nothing personal. I mean, I know it's not down to you.
Well, if it's something to do with you and the governor, you should apply
Oh,
in the proper manner.
can I? Hartley will say it was you. Nicked him off the tray, won't she?
Look, if you're trying to have me on...
Look, if I was trying to have you on, I'd just let it drop, wouldn't I? I'd not report it. Then you'd be in it right up to here. Do us both a favour, eh? Fetch the governor.
I haven't the faintest idea what this is about, and I haven't got time to go into it now. So for the sake of a bit of peace, I'll give you...
No. No, I know you're doing your best, but it's not you, it's Hartley. Don't get yourself involved trying to...
For heaven's sakes.
I can't take that. It's not right. I mean, I appreciate it, but, oh, well, tar anyhow. It's like I say, there's good screws and bad screws.
Governor's privilege? Doesn't say anything about that on your card.
God, would you believe it? She's rubbed it out. Now, that is an offence. Against Rule 84, isn't it? Code of discipline for officers, yeah. Oh, I wouldn't like to be Hartley when the governor finds out that. Hang on. Right. Now it's back. You've seen it clear, right? GP. So if it gets rubbed out again, you're my witness, right? Hey, talkative! I've got you a tailor-made. God, can't you hear me? I said I've got you a fag, a tailor-made. Stone me, what the bloody hell do you expect? Cigars?
Faye, do you mind if I say something? I didn't much like what you did this morning.
What on earth are you talking about?
I don't think you should have done it. Not like that.
Charles, you astonish me. Are you seriously suggesting that I shouldn't ask anybody else?
I am. Not when you've already made up your mind you're going to do it anyway.
You think I've made up my mind?
I'm damn sure you have.
Yes, well, I can hardly expect you not to know me pretty well by now. But there's one thing I must say to you, Charles. Whenever possible, I prefer us to work as a team. But in the end, I am the one that has to make the decisions. After all, I'm the governor of a prison, you know, not the chairman of a debating society.
Go on then, you suggest something. It's a free country. Say what you think.
I've already told you 10 times that I think it's a good idea, but we'll never do it.
Ah, we might, Stella, if we were all to put our minds to it.
Talk, that's all we ever do.
I haven't heard you coming up with any bright suggestions.
It was my idea in the first place.
It'd be nice to have our own magazine. Pass the time for us and give everyone something to think about.
Well, there's nothing stopping us except Madam
I'm
over
not
there.
stopping you. All I said was I didn't think they'd actually get round to doing it.
Don't keep saying that all the
Oh,
time.
for God's sake, shut up!
Don't you tell me to shut up.
It's time somebody told you to.
Look,
There must be someone here who could draw a lovely picture to go on the front of it.
You stupid Irish git.
Don't be like that, Ruth. There's no call for it at all.
Oh, it drives me mad. Sometimes I could scream.
Well, scream then, Stella. If it makes you feel any better.
Look, I wish you'd keep your opinions to yourself. I'm interested in what you have to say.
Ruth's right. All we do is talk. Do we want this magazine or don't we? Well,
All right, I suppose so. Happy?
yes or no?
Yes.
Ruth? Yes. Right, we're all agreed we do want it. So what the hell are we going to do about it?
If only Jojo was here, she'd know what to do.
Oh, she's not.
None of us seem to get anywhere with anything when she's not here.
She doesn't talk. She does. Only when she's left, that's why they're so scared of her.
Ah, who can be scared of Jojo? Quite a little thing like her.
Good evening, Miss Parsons. You've got the keys to these cells, haven't you? Do you mind opening this one for me? I've left mine in my office. Right. GP? What on earth does that mean?
I'm very sorry, madam. I'm afraid the lock seems a bit stuck. I can't get the door open.
I don't think it's the lock, Miss Parsons. Mrs. Armitage, have it open, will you, please?
With respect, madam, I think she'd be far safer left on her own.
Open it, Mrs. Armitage.
Come on, you, and you. Give me a hand.
That's enough.
Both together. Don't push. Stand back, Robert.
Mrs. Armitage. Joanna, it's the governor. I'm coming in to see you on my own. Good evening, Joanna. I gather you don't want any visitors.
Makes a laugh.
Well, now, where do I sit?
Have a chair.
Thank you.
Not scared, then?
Should I be?
Some of them are.
Well, you're a big, strong girl. Physically.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not fit, though, either.
Neither am I hope. Joanna, what are we going to do about you?
Eh? I don't know what you're gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. Keep looking in. See if you're still living.
Well, if you moved some of those things out of the way, you could push the door to.
Yeah? I could barricade you in with me.
Yes.
It's all right, it's governor's privilege.
Well, now, Joanna, we've got a problem. Or if you don't think we have, then I have a problem. In the last 6 months, I've had to punish you 9 times, is it?
10. And 4 cautions.
For what they were worth. Well, I've reached the end of the road. Now I can only pass you on to the Board of Visitors as a repeating offender. They award far heavier punishments than I do. Is that what you want?
Don't mind.
It'll considerably lessen your chances for parole.
Oh, come on. Come off it, missus. I'm not even going to apply for parole.
As you wish.
You like the work, do you? Being the governor?
Has its good sides and bad sides.
Because you see, I mean, I like mine. Little niggles, stirring it up. I like all that.
I think I've got that point.
And be fair. I've never hit anyone, have I?
As an unreasonable person, you're the most reasonable I've ever met.
Well, so we both do our own jobs, right? Mine's to keep breaking the rules. Yours is to punish me for it. What's wrong with that? I mean, why do we have to bring somebody else into
There
it?
are 300 other women here, Joanna.
Slags.
And I can't devote the whole of my time to you. You would make it much easier if you devoted your not inconsiderable energy to doing something more constructive.
Hobbies, soft toys, needlework.
You could study for exams. chance. Try and get some qualifications.
Well, can't hardly read.
Well, for a start, you could learn to read better.
Oh, give over. Look, missus. What you're asking me to do is make things easier, right? For you. Well, it's nothing personal. Only I'm not going to. I'm not here to make things easier.
Not for yourself.
Like you said, I'm a big, strong girl.
You'll come off cellular confinement tomorrow, Joanna. The first offence after that, you'll be up before the Board of Visitors.
Yeah, okay. 300 other women? It's 301, isn't it? That's the one I'd be more worried about if I was you.
Thank you, Joanna. However would I run my prison without your advice?
Oh, cheers, missus. Thanks for... You know, there might have been a punch-up if you hadn't come on your own.
She goes back on association tomorrow.
Yes, madam. Very well.
Solitary confinement under Rule 43 at her own request. Well, it's been nearly 8 weeks now since she first arrived. This can't go on indefinitely.
Abandoned a 2-year-old child to die of exposure and starvation in the middle of a moor. No wonder she's frightened of what sort of reception she'll get from the other prisoners.
She has to face it one day.
And so have we, and the sooner the better. But it's your recommendation, Peter. When do you think she's ready?
Well, let me put it this way. To persuade her to come up, be brave, some of it at least ought to come from her. Her decision. Some strength on her part. But as a doctor, I've done all that I can.
No, it ought to be someone who's not such an authority figure. All right. Oh, that's if you agree, Mrs. Wilson.
Oh, I'd be most grateful.
But you would say, wouldn't you, Doctor, that as far as the other prisoners are concerned, she shouldn't appear to be the governor's special interest?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Well, whose wing shall we put her on, then?
Oh, we'd better wait and see how Miss Clark gets on with her first. But in the meantime, let's try and solve some of our other problems.
I don't find Jo's behaviour unbearable. I think I can see what she's trying to do.
She almost looks on getting into trouble as part of her job.
Are you familiar with her background?
Not as familiar as I should be.
She was taken into care just before her 2nd birthday. Foster parents, children's homes, remand homes, approved school, Borstal. No relatives, no family. Passed round all her life like a parcel with a label stuck on it saying problem. So now she does her best to live up to it. She's never been of any importance to anybody, except as a problem.
She's got a long sentence this time, hasn't she? Car driver to a bank robbery.
An important job. It wasn't successful, but perhaps it was the first time in her life that she'd ever felt necessary.
Self-respect. Pity it had to come from that direction.
Her opportunities have been limited. But it might have made her feel that she's found something she wants to preserve.
So, what's the answer?
Jo doesn't give answers. She does make us ask ourselves questions, though. Have you ever asked yourself, if you got a long prison sentence, how you'd behave?
I'd be absolutely shattered. I don't think I could face it. In fact, I know I couldn't.
Behave yourself, be good, get up when you're told, work when you're told, eat when you're told, stop when you're told.
It's a good job for us that not all prisoners are like Joanna.
If they were, we couldn't run the prisons. Prisoners cooperate in their own imprisonment. Willingly. I wonder if I would. If I'd ever gone to prison, I like to think I'd have been like Joe.
I know, you know. You think I don't know what you're up to, don't you?
Ah, Jojo, we only thought it'd be
Oh,
nice.
don't give me any of that.
You could be the editor if you really wanted.
What, me? What, can't hardly read? Bro, that's all you're after. You hope if you're good little girls, they'll send you home 6 weeks before they have to anyway.
Joe, what else is there to do? Well, it drives me mad.
How long you doing it?
You know how long.
And you? And you? Add them all up and what'd you get? Listen, I'm doing on my own the total of the whole lot of you.
We thought it would pass the time.
Pass the time? What are you doing, waiting for a bus?
Look, it doesn't make any difference. It's all right for you. But some of us have got families, people to go back to.
Oh, yeah? Tell us about yours. Go on. Tell us.
God, we can dream.
Sure. That's what prison's for. World of dreams. They encourage you to it. Forget about now. Think about the future. Keep quiet and be good.
What do you want us to do, Jojo? Die?
Well, you're already dead. You're nothings, all of you. If somebody showed you a picture of yourselves, you couldn't recognise it.
May I come in? I'm Miss Clark, the welfare officer. I've come to talk to you about coming off Rule 43. To tell you what work you'll do and to find out what evening classes you'd like to go on. It has to be faced. It's part of our job to try and help you to face it, but some of it's got to come from you. Life is an indeterminate sentence. It can mean a few years or a long time. Once a year, the parole board considers your case and decides whether to recommend your eventual release on license. Now, it takes into account your behavior in prison and what progress you've made there. It's the only kind of sentence a prisoner herself can affect the length of.
So I've decided to take Angela off Rule 43 and put her on your wing.
Very well, Governor. It'll be difficult to find a single cell for her.
Very difficult? Impossible, would you say?
Lifers are always given their own cell, madam. I shall
Yes,
just
but
have
if she
to...
can't get her own cell, who would you put her with?
The Irish girl, Cathy Rooney, I suppose.
Why Cathy?
She's a gentle sort of person. She'd be tolerant and understanding.
Do you think that would be good for Angela?
I don't follow you, madam.
She has a shell. Someone like Cathy would let her stay hidden behind it. I was thinking more of someone who would break into it.
Most prisoners are just prisoners. You can't expect
We were
them to be...
thinking of Joanna, Miss Parrish. You think it might work?
I just don't know, madam.
Somebody will have to go down and talk to her, won't they?
I'll try, madam, but I don't think she'll like it.
I'll give instructions for her to be brought up after association tonight. There's one thing that might help us and it might not. When I went down to see Joanna, she said it was Angela she'd be worried about if she was me.
No, that's definite no. I'm not sharing with no one. Just because I've been off the wing a couple of days. God, blimey, I can't even turn me back without the Peter getting nicked off of me.
We can't spare the room to let you have it back again, and it's as simple as that.
Well, Cathy Watson's got her own Stella stuck up pretty proof. Why should
Do you
I
want to
do
go back downstairs again? That's the only place where you'll get one of your own.
Oh, come on, missus. Give us a break. You know I like to be quiet. I'm not fit for anyone to live with. I've got dirty habits. I piss in my water jug.
As a favour.
Favour? What's going on? Me do you a favour?
I don't happen to mean for me.
Who then?
The girl I want you to share with.
Who is it?
Angela Cornish.
Angela Cornish. I've never heard of her. Who's she?
The new lifer who came in 2 months ago.
The one that's come up from down there on Rule 43? No.
Why not?
She stuck up. She didn't say a word to me down there.
Would you just said you like being quiet?
Oh, bloody hell, I don't mean that quiet. Anyhow, I don't approve of what she'd done.
Neither does anybody else. But they're going to show it. That's why I want you to look after her.
You must be joking. I set myself against all the others. Oh, you are. You're a nasty person, aren't you? You think 'cause I'm ready to mix it with you lot, I'd enjoy mixing. Oh, you are, aren't you? You're a right nasty person. 'Cause you're right, aren't you? Yeah.
Right, unpack your kit and get yourself settled in.
I'll say this and then I want no more, right? I'm not a person who likes talking. I hate people who chatter, you know what I mean? I've had a hard day, I just want to be left alone and go to sleep. So unpack your gear, get into bed and don't say nothing. Then we'll both be all right. Right? Hold it.
What's going on in...
It's all right, missus. I know when I'm beat. That's milk stuff, isn't it? Yeah, well, not enough pictures in it for me, mate. I'm a, what do you call it, illiterate. Oh, grub time, is it?
Don't you read at all?
Oh, about as much as you talk. Educated, yeah. You don't use it, though, do you? Oh, well.
When I was in the workshop today, I heard someone talking about starting a magazine.
Oh, no. No, we don't do things like that. Only so they can show their friends, see? What our little girls in the nick have done. Nick good. Do you stay alive? Who, them or me? Us.
The last one's the Irish girl, Cathy Rooney. She's due for discharge at the end of the month, too.
What's the outlook?
Oh, wonderful. We found her a job, somewhere to live. There's not a thing in the world to worry about. Again?
And she's going to keep in regular touch with her probation officer?
Oh, of course I am, Miss Clark. Yes, Miss Clark. Certainly, Miss Clark. 3 bags full, Miss Clark.
And the drink?
I've done without it in here. It'll be no effort to keep away from it outside.
That's right, madam.
Has she a family?
There's 3 children in care.
No, I meant of her own.
She's been over here since she was 15.
It would be a help, wouldn't it, if she at least recognized that you had a few problems?
In the old days, there would have been compulsory aftercare for people like Cathy.
Did it work?
I was with the Central Aftercare Association for a while. We never made extravagant claims, but sometimes we could do something for some people who needed supervision.
I didn't know you'd been in aftercare.
Did you think it was a recent invention of the probation service? Prison's the only aftercare provided for people like Cathy.
Well, anything more, Miss Clark?
No. That's the lot.
Miss Parrish, one other thing. Angela Cornish. How's it working out?
She keeps herself to herself, madam. But Joe Roberts...
That's why I asked. I haven't had a complaint about her for at least a fortnight.
That's that what's it thing, isn't it? Whatchamacallit? Checkmate. I've only been teaching for 10 days. Lucky. You can't win chess by luck. Oh, well. Ta, anyhow. It's a good game, that. That's the first thing I can win at. Oh, well. I'm going down recreation. Coming? What's she gonna do then? Read? Draw. Draw, do? You were none once, was you? Why'd you call it love? Oh, I get it. That's symbolical. It's good, that. We'll stick it up on the wall. They do us both a favour, eh? Come on.
And Miss Clark says that the room's only 10 minutes from the job and the bus and all. You know, I've definitely a feeling in my bones. This time it's all going to work out fine.
You mean if you stay off the booze?
That's one thing there's no problem with. Haven't I been in here all this time and never so much felt like touching a drop? Anyway, Miss Clark believes in me, she does. So how could I go letting her down after all she's done for me?
Well, if she believes in you, she's a bigger fool than I thought she was.
Oh, we are honoured.
Oh, right, knock it off. They're a right load of slags, but you'll get used to them in time. I'm going to have them paintings.
My name's Angela. Prue, Ruth, Stella, Catherine. I'm Joe Spark. Yeah.
What way are you going to do it then? Life. You are the new lifer, aren't you?
Well, look, you see, some start off good. Try to convince everyone there's going to be no more trouble. Others start off bad, then improve to show the high-ups they're making progress. See? I don't know, I hadn't thought.
What's the average now? About 8 years, is it?
Well, some do only 4, some do 15 or 20. Some do life. Depends upon the case. You're the one who left a baby somewhere or something, aren't you?
I nearly did that one time myself. Then I gave it to the care people instead.
Have you any form? Have you been in before?
Yes.
Oh, well, you'll do 5 or 6, a couple of years here, and then on to a semi-open place.
Oh, that'll be nice. They say those places are very nice.
Have you got a family? No.
Joe told us you're clever.
No. Not like she is. Joe clever, if she had twice the brain, she'd still be a half-wit. Hey, she said you might have some ideas.
To help us start something.
Start something? What like? Well, anything.
Something to think about.
We did think of a magazine, but...
You see, Angie, they all get sorted. Well, you know, it's different for me. I'm going out. But they're all still...
Oh, talk. We never do anything.
It was just something to pass the time now and again. Something different.
What sort of things do you talk about? Now you know. Yeah. What do we talk about? Come in.
Yes, Angela? A debate?
I've already said yes.
And the idea came entirely from Angela?
I wouldn't be sure of that.
The most important thing is she was the one who came to see you about it.
But it was your idea to put her in with Joe Roberts, Governor.
Oh, Joanna's behind it, is she? Yeah. Anything to do with talking, yes.
Excuse me, madam, but where will they be able to have it? We can't use the chapel, not with all those repairs going on.
Oh, yes, I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, it'll be 6 weeks or more before it's fully back in use.
Well, could we make an exception and hold it in South Wing?
Security would be impossible. It's quite out of the question, madam.
Well, I just have to wait until the chapel's finished, then.
Oh, isn't this what they always say? You make a suggestion, somebody says it's a good idea, but not convenient for the moment.
It's the first lesson any prisoner's got to learn.
There's no alternative. It's not convenient.
Is it absolutely out of the question that all the prisoners are on one wing?
My officers would be up in arms. They just couldn't cope. All that name-checking and counting afterwards. Every single prisoner having to be searched. They'd be there until gone midnight.
But why don't they have it on their own? You know, restricted to the inmates of South Wing.
Angela Cornish says that's just the trouble. They're always seeing the same faces and hearing the same voices.
Sorry to be late, Governor. I was held up on South Wing. I've just been talking to Angela Cornish about the debate. Coming out of her shell quite a bit, isn't she? Oh, she's very pleased. And I suggested that since this is the first one, and we all want to help her to get it off the ground, if we could work out a convenient time, I was sure some of the staff would be willing to join in.
Some of the staff?
You won't find any of my officers wanting to join in that sort of thing.
Well, Mrs. Armitage, I hope you'll use your influence to persuade them.
I said I'd take part. Well, since she's shown the initiative, I think it's important to give her all the support we can.
Yes, I entirely agree. It most certainly is.
Good. That makes 2 of us then for a start.
You were telling us next they want Miss Parrish to be chairman because she's in charge of the wing.
Well, they were thinking that
since this is the first time, that the Governor would be chairman.
Well, of course I will. Why, ever not? Not feeling like association tonight. I'm afraid I'm not around as much as I would like to be, but I'll be here tomorrow evening. What subject are we debating?
Oh, they haven't decided yet.
Well, I'm sure you'll think of something that'll start off a good argument.
A woman's place is in the home. Conservatives are better than Labour. There can't be a God.
Well, any one of those. Were they your idea?
No, see, that's the trouble. They're all afraid of suggesting things in case the others laugh at them.
Well, why don't you ask them to do it anonymously? They could put ideas on a piece of paper, put it in a box, I'll pull the first one out and see how it goes.
Some of them might be a bit crude.
Oh, I think we're grown up enough for that. Still, it's only a suggestion. You must do it your way. See you tomorrow, then.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, thank you for what you're doing for Joanna.
Ooh, royalty calling on you. What's she after then?
No, she was at first.
Trying to fix her what's it, was she?
No, not fix it, just trying to help.
Help? Her?
I think she thought I was someone else. She thanked me for helping you.
Oh, what help does she think she's... Oh, I see. Now the clever, rotten bastards. It's all a get-up.
Oh, don't worry, Charles. We'll keep it very light-hearted and informal.
I suppose Peter May's a slip round the corner for prescription.
He's been slandering you, Peter. Why don't we all go out to the pub afterwards and have a drink?
If we survive.
How scared are you, Charles? I'm quite looking forward to it.
Oh, they'll all be taking a mickey.
Well, surely for once we can show them that we're not perfect.
I do it every day.
Hello, Mrs. Armitage. I thought this was your night off.
I changed it, madam.
Oh. Governor's office.
When are you coming down, Mr. Radley?
Oh, well,
We're all ready for you.
yes. Thank you, Miss Parrish.
You look as though you've been summoned to the department.
I'd sooner be. Look, has anybody any idea what it is we're going to debate?
Well, whatever it is, I'm sure you'll find something to say.
Thank you.
Thank you for your invitation to me and to the rest of the staff. But as this was Angela's idea, I still feel that she should be taking the chair.
Well, good old Angie.
However, I'm afraid you'll have to make do with me instead. Now, this isn't going to be formal with speakers for and against, isn't that so, Angela? All the same, we will have to have one or two rules to keep us in order. Anyone who signals that they want to say something, well, I'll try and give you a fair hearing, but please keep it short so that others have a chance too. And no preferential treatment for the staff. Now, Angela, have you decided what we're going to debate?
No, we did the box.
Oh, well, would you like me to pull the first one out?
Yeah.
See, Freddy, please.
There doesn't seem to be any shortage of suggestions. Yes, well, perhaps another one will be better to start off with.
Read it out.
Let's hear it, come on.
Very well. There's no need for us to have prison. Well, now, who'd like to begin? Surely someone will start us off.
Well, there's nothing to say, is there? I mean, it's true, isn't it?
Well, let's try another one then, shall we? There's no need for us to have prison.
Well, it is. It's true, isn't it?
What's the alternative, Jojo?
How do you expect me to know?
You've got to have prisons.
Why have you?
Some people are dangerous.
Like who?
Me!
If I wasn't in jail, I'd drink and steal. Then when I go out, I drink and steal again, so we put back in.
But it's a deterrent. It stops people.
Oh,
Well, I've learnt my lesson.
And a protection.
who against?
For those outside, for those in society.
Oh, my God, I never...
Come off it, Joe. There'll always be prisons.
Yeah.
Surely we can think of something better.
Well, there certainly ought to be more aftercare hostels.
Yes, or even hostels that people could go to instead, so that they could still live in a community.
Yes, there must be. I'm sure there are alternatives. There must be. There are far too many people in prison today who shouldn't be there.
And a lot aren't who should.
People go on doing bad things, there's no alternative.
No, of course not. If you're going to be realistic about it.
That's right.
We do need prisons.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
It's sad, but it's true.
What?
That's right.
The whole lot of you just sitting there till... Joe, if people do wrong...
They deserve to be punished.
Well, let's try another subject then, shall we? There's no need for us to have prisons.
That's just typical. Bloody rest.
Conservatives are better than Labour.
And up the lot of you.
Life. It's good, that. It proves it.